Let's talk Max Brosmer. And yes, that is how it's pronounced, I believe, listening to the Maine versus New Hampshire broadcast. Uh, Max Brosmer from New Hampshire, a guy a lot of people
Yep.
probably hadn't heard of until pretty recently, commits to the Minnesota Gophers. We wanted to get CD's input on this because he is a Gopher fan. After evaluating the film myself, this guy can sling the pill a little bit. Uh, Definitely, based on just film alone, it is better than what they had in Ethan Kayak Menace. And there's a reason why they probably forced him out of there.
Yes. And the thing is here with Brosmer is no, does he have, the best arm in the portal? Does he have the legs of Ethan Kalikmanis? No, but same time, like his floor is just super high. Everything that Ethan did that frustrated you last year as a Minnesota fan, as Minnesota coaching staff, Brosmer just excels in that situation. You're talking about situational football, right? Third down, he knows how much time he has in the pocket to throw the ball and where the sticks are to be able to make those throws. He throws with timing, great timing and anticipation, right? He just, his footwork is good. Even off platform, he can still make all the throws. His arm is underrated for a guy coming from the FCS level. He has a really good arm. He's been super productive at New Hampshire. He is, a finalist for Walter Payton Award, which is the Heisman of the FCS. He has 31 career starts and he threw for 8,000 yards. I mean, this is exactly what you needed as a Minnesota fan in a program that you get it. You get your big time returns in your left tackle, your wide receiver one, your running back one, all guys that had big time tampering issues with in college football there in the transfer portal. You bring them all back, and then you pair him with a guy like Max Brosmer to get him on campus before he could visit anywhere else was huge, was massive. As soon as we offered him, we wanted to get him on campus and committed in and stopped this recruitment before, he gets to some of the higher level, teams. And if you're in Minnesota, you were never going to have a chance at Cam Ward, Aiden Childs, Dante Moore, even Will Howard. Like those were never real possibilities. Max Brosmer is about as well as you could have done given your resources and the situation you're in. And this is just an immediate floor upgrade. And I believe the ceiling is still there for him
Yeah,
or for
and
the
key
offense.
the key, of course, on this, like you said, was getting him locked in early because a lot of those upper schools, right, that could use a guy like Max Brosmer, right? But guys that those are schools that think they're in the running for, guys like Will Howard, guys like Riley Leonard, guys like and they waited too long, and Minnesota knew who their guy was and they went and got him. So props to the Gophers. So I don't know how many more games do you think Max Brosmer would have won for the Gophers if they had played this year, or if he had played this year?
Well, we probably beat Illinois because we probably get a first down in the fourth quarter when we needed one. We probably don't lose to Northwestern. Wisconsin's a closer game. Purdue was a bad game all around. North Carolina was makeable throws. There were open receivers all year long, and everyone wants to point the finger at the wide receiver core or the O line or the injured running back room or your offense coordinator. But there were plays to be had that Ethan missed, and it was frustrating. They put a lot of effort and attention into him developing, recruiting him all the way back when he was 15 years old. It didn't work out. And to the credit of Minnesota and that coaching staff, they cut ties when they needed to and before it was too late. And Brosmer's a guy about as well as you could have done. They'll still be active in the portal for a younger developmental quarterback that you can bring in and provide depth. But it sounds like Brosmer, they're bringing a highly rated Drake Lindsley from Fayetteville, Arkansas as a high school recruit. Don't quite know if I want a true freshman to be running the reins at Minnesota. If he wins the job, he wins the job. But Max Brosmer, like I said earlier, just greatly increases the floor of your Minnesota offense. We talked about it, right? The best years of Minnesota under PJ Fleck, you had Tanner Morgan, right? And he was on it, right? He had elite receivers around him. He had a good running back and a great O-line, and he had a scheme that fit him to his identity. And Max Brosmer, for everything I've heard and I've seen, it sounds like he is Tanner Morgan on steroids. And that's been the comp for him in terms of football IQ, intelligence in general. This guy's a brilliant biomedical guy. He's going to come to Minnesota. Another thing that worked for Minnesota in their his recruitment is Max Brosmer. Yes, he believes in his football skills. Yes, he understands that the NFL is potentially a spot for him to be a backup for a couple of years for sure. But he's looking at a 4-year decision here, and Minnesota's biomedical research department is one of the best in the country. At the Mayo Clinic in Minneapolis, all these companies that are there. And that played a role in it. Like, this is not just a football move. This is a lifestyle change and a career move for him academically, which is another benefit for a guy like Minnesota or a team like Minnesota to get a guy like this that maybe, you don't always have the ability to. But it sounds like he's everything you want in a Minnesota quarterback. Um, it's kind of just, yeah. It's people are really excited here. After a brutal November, this has been awesome news that we needed quickly, and that can help us build another class. Like, you look at, it can help us build, like, quarterbacks matter, right? You talk about like quarterbacks that get recruited and become the gem of that class can help recruit other guys. Same thing in the transfer portal. If you're a wide receiver, or if you're a D line, or if you're a secondary player corner, you see Minnesota has their quarterback, a high level guy like Max Brosmer, recruited in, and you're like, hey, well, this guy chose them. Well, maybe let me get them a look, and let me, it matters, especially early in the cycle. It's huge.
Absolutely.